Hey everyone, Jake here for Extreme Terrain, and in this video we're taking a look at the AFE Mach-Force XP high-tuck axle-back exhaust system fitting 2018 and newer 2-liter and 3.6-liter JL Wranglers. Give your JL a dose of additional attitude with this exhaust from the experts at AFE. This is a high-quality axle-back that gives the JL more volume and better sound, but doesn't compromise your ground clearance. And when it comes to the sound level, this is going to get a strong 3 out of 5 on our loudness meter. So while it is noticeably louder than stock, it won't be enough to get your neighbors in a huff, and it's a great setup for a daily driven rig. Now, AFE is well known for their intakes, but they are experts in all things airflow, which of course naturally extends to exhausts. This one in particular gives the 2-liter turbo engines a nice deep growl. It's smooth and it's definitely louder, but not over the top. And in JLs with the 3.6-liter, like you heard from ours at the start of the video, much the same is true. You get a deeper, more grumbly type of sound, and when you open it up, it sounds really darn good, and it kind of starts to howl like a race car, especially at the top end of the rev range. Needless to say, I'm a fan of the sound of this on either motor, and there are a couple things that really caught my attention with this exhaust. Thankfully, for those of you who put on a lot of miles, the volume here is really not over the top. It strikes a great balance between being something that you can hear and enjoy, and something you can pretty much tune out on a long highway slog. There's also minimal drone. Now, AFE describes the suitcase muffler here as free-flowing, and while that is certainly true, especially as compared to the stock muffler, as you can hear, there's quite a lot of baffling in this one to help keep that sound in check and remove any unwanted frequencies. So all that to say, this is going to sound good and you'll be able to hear it, but it won't drown out a conversation or your favorite tunes. Now, of course, this is also a high clearance system, so it is going to tuck right up underneath of your factory rear bumper, and it won't impede your departure angle or overall ground clearance. That means, of course, there is no traditional tip here though. You've just got this slash cut that's going to dump out right at the bumper line. So while you may not get the look of a big tip, you do get the sound and you get the flow here, and really, those are what it's all about. The entire system is made using 3-inch mandrel bent T409 grade stainless steel, and everything is fully MIG welded for strength and durability. Now, all this makes for a very solid setup, and one that has good resistance to rust and corrosion. It also comes as one piece right here like you see it on the table, making it easy to mount up in your rig, and we'll touch more on that in a moment. Coming in at around $575, that places it pretty much right in the middle of the price range when compared to other axle backs for the JL. Now for me, the sound is really the highlight here, and while this doesn't have the same material quality as a T304 stainless system, this is really well made. So it ticks a lot of the right boxes, and it's not going to cost you a ton of money. Installation gets your typical 1 out of 3 on our difficulty meter, and you can expect the job to take you around 1 hour to complete. This is designed to be a totally bolt-on setup that will utilize your factory exhaust hanger locations, and it won't require you to make any permanent modifications to your Jeep. And again, it comes as one piece with everything you need included in the kit though, so all you'll need is some time and some tools. With that said, let's head on out to the shop and we'll walk you through that process.
The tools you'll need for this project are an impact gun, a ratchet, a 13mm socket, a long extension, and a 15mm socket.
Hi everyone, today we're installing an exhaust on our Wrangler, so let's get started with the uninstall of the stock exhaust first. All right, first thing we need to do is get our muffler disconnected from the isolators. And we've got one right over here on the driver's side, right at the top of the muffler, and we've got another one on the passenger side in the same location. So we're going to be using our large pry bar to get up in here and between the isolator and the frame and just pry that to the inside of the vehicle until it slides off of the hanger. And we've got one side off. We'll go over to the passenger side now and get that one off. Now with our isolators removed, we can go ahead and loosen up this clamp right over the axle using our 15mm socket. Now with that clamp loosened up, we can go ahead and remove our muffler. Just work it back and forth as we're pulling it back.
And get it out of the way.
Now, depending on your situation, you may find it easier to remove these hangers from the frame rails. And to do that, you're going to need a 13mm socket to remove this bolt here at the bottom, and then another one that goes in from the front towards the rear. So we'll go ahead and use our 13 millimeter socket to take those off. And now you can repeat that process for the other side. All right, before we install our new exhaust system, there's a couple things we need to take care of first because clearances are going to be a little tight with this particular system. First thing we're going to want to do is clean this area right behind the sway bar here that's got this little cutout. You're going to want to make sure that you clean that really well and at the very least wipe it down with some rubbing alcohol, because what we're going to do is install this additional heat shield that's included in your kit. Now, installing this is a piece of cake. All you have to do is remove the backing material off of the shield and then place it right up here inside this little indentation. And the reason for that is that this exhaust sits a lot closer to the bottom of the vehicle than your stock system does. So once you've got that done, the next thing you're going to want to do, if you haven't done it already, is remove the two hangers on the side of your frame. The reason for this is, like I said earlier, clearances on this new system are a lot tighter and it'll be a lot more difficult to try and get those hangers into the isolators if they're still on the vehicle. So we've already transferred our hangers to our new system. Now we can go ahead, and we're not going to put this heat shield on because we're not leaving this exhaust on our system. So we're not going to put it up there, but you would definitely want to do that on your vehicle. So let's get started in getting this exhaust system installed. All right, so as I said, we've already transferred our hangers from the frame to the exhaust system itself. Now we're going to go ahead and slip our clamp over the end of our inlet tube here. And you want to make sure that the nut is positioned towards the outside of the vehicle so that you'll have access to be able to tighten it up once we get it installed. Now this system, the old system came up between the panhard bar and the sway bar. This new system is actually going to go over the sway bar and then into the stock exhaust pipe. So we'll go ahead and lift that into place over the sway bar. And then we'll line up our pipes, get that pressed on, making sure, of course, that this alignment tab on the stock system lines up with the slot on the new pipe. Now, once you've got that done, go ahead and lift up on the passenger side, putting your exhaust hanger in the location that it needs to be. Now, using the original hardware, we'll go ahead and secure the passenger side hanger back to the frame. Now we'll move to the driver's side. All right, now that we've got both sides secured to the frame, we'll go ahead and put in our second bolt up at the top of the hanger. And we can tighten them both down now with our 13 millimeter socket. Now, if you've got a swivel socket, it makes it a little bit easier, which is what we're going to use on ours, but a regular short socket will work as well. Now we'll get the one on top. And now you can repeat that process for the other side as well. Now, once our exhaust hangers are tightened down, we can go ahead and tighten down our clamp, making sure, of course, that the clamp is all the way to the end of our exhaust pipe here. And then using our 15 millimeter socket on our long extension, we'll tighten that down. Now, before you wrap all this up and you fire it up for the first time, I do recommend that you get a clean cloth and some rubbing alcohol and just wipe down the system, especially any of the polished pieces that may be on here, just to make sure that all of the grease and oil and dirt that may have gotten on your hands while installing this is wiped off the system. Once you've got it wiped off, then you don't have to worry about your fingerprints and the grease and oil being burned into the system once it gets up to operating temperature. With that being said, your installation is now complete. And that wraps up our review and install of the AFE MachForce XP high-tuck axleback exhaust system for your 18 and newer 2-liter or 3.6-liter Jeep Wrangler JL. Thanks for watching, and remember, for all things Wrangler, keep it right here at ExtremeTerrain.com.